Dry block is probably good. But get,
This is the
what we're
spraying
doing is,
step.
huh?
Yeah, spraying step. We've got antifreeze. So the blocks don't freeze. We basically get it to pretty wet. Wet consistency.
The reason we're doing this is two things. It activates the clay, and then it activates the clay, and once it softens that little that small area on the top, and then you can take your little trowel and clean off any imperfections, like any little ridges or imperfections. But it takes a minute to soak it up.
Oh yeah, it's soaked up here already.
Yeah, this stuff's soaked good, a lot quicker. But now you can take the, where's that little hoe at?
Right here.
So in a minute here, see how it's just being the way it comes out of the press. It's got an edge
Yeah,
on it.
sure. We've got
And
little
right here where that
imperfections.
you can tell. This way you can clean them up a lot easier. See, it kind of helps blend them in. And otherwise, it wouldn't do that if you did. It just makes it clean a lot easier, and it activates the clay. So you're doing two things at one time here.
Okay.
So you do that, and then where there's a ridge, you can kind of see where there's a difference, and try to take the edge off a little bit so it'll lay a little better. And depending on how much time you take, I do every edge, kind of round them off a little bit. And it flattens out the surface quite a bit.
Now, if you laid in the summer, like if you had better blocks, you wouldn't have to do this. Your blocks are typically better than this.
Yes. They're smaller.
What's the reason for this quality control issue?
I think the size. I don't know, but I don't know. The mold's different. It presses a smaller. This time of year, you just can't. We have.
Well, it's mostly because of the quality of the soil we're using. We
Right.
get a
It's
lot
not
of.
it's the mix we had, and it was the weather we had.
Right. We do much better in the summer.
Oh yeah, because your moisture content's way lower.
Yeah, I mean, James pressed some pretty sweet bricks from his pictures. They look pretty good.
He had. I was just talking to him about that when you came up. He had a salt sandy loam. Of course, down there they have a lot of sand in the soil. I mean, there's areas that's got a lot of clay, but.
And we have clay here.
So we got clay right here.
Yeah.
There's other places like Wentz that's got quite a bit of sand in it.
They got sandy clay, and we get a little bit of layers of sandy clay here too. There's veins of that
But
too,
there's
and
places where that layer is this thick here.
Yep.
It's this thick.
Yeah.
Here, within 50-mile radius.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you're at.
Yep.
Like at my place, there's a layer there, and I actually dug it up, and it's really almost too much sand. It was kind of soft until they cured. Man, they're harder than Dickens.
Yeah.
So it kind of got a drying out process, you know. But anyway, that's what you do. Kind of scrape them. Best.
Go all the way to the end. Why don't you go all the way to the end?
Well,
You're done over there?
You're gonna do it, or?
Me?
Yeah, I can do it. If you're filming.
I was gonna
Don't
document because we're basically seeing about 4 minutes to prepare one layer, 16 feet to wet it and to scrape it. About 4 minutes. Ergonomics documentation. Going into the Civilization Starter Kit DVD version 0.01. Right here.
Now in the summertime, if you had a crew ready, you just take these right out of the machine and put them in the wall.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to. You get less damage on the blocks. A lot of these goobers are from the blocks sticking to each other.
Yep.
See, when you take them right out of the press, you don't have that.
All right, we're ready to lay.
You just wipe them down; they're super clean. They're ready to go. But see,
there's the crew coming down.
And just kind of use your hands and wipe them off, and then what I do, and then like the side that I'm going to put down, I make sure it's clean in the ends, but the top I don't worry about because we're going to take care of the top on the next layer again.
Yeah.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So, that was really. So we'll put it to the inside. So, see, this is actually still wet. Probably could have activated a little bit more.
Here, grab the sprayer. Pump it up. But this part about the sprayer is very encouraging because that means no messing with the slurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we were doing it when it's sub. You know.
I mean, we thought initially that the slurry preparation would be one of the major tasks, major ergonomics blocks in this construction method, but it's not.
No, if you look, there's a lot of people that they don't even use the slurry. They just wet them, like those guys in Texas.
Yeah.
A lot of them just, I don't, I just do this right out of the machine. You know, I run like how you run your conveyors full and double them up. I run down the wall like that. I'll make like a couple hundred blocks. Then I take a break and take them off the conveyor right here, put them right in the wall. My conveyor's right here. I just take them right off, put them in the wall. Take them right off, put them in the wall.
Yep.
Then I go over and put some more stuff in and run another batch.
So what that means is,
That's when I was working by myself.
yeah. So for our CB, we got to put that on a trailer. Is what we got to do. We will.
Make it. We
Coming
need to
up in
make
2
it
weeks.
mobile. And then, like, see, my conveyors, I have all those stands like you got. I bought all that stuff, but I don't use them. I just use blocks because you need to be mobile, you know. And then,
Oh.
and then a lot of times
You'd recommend not using the feed, just put them on blocks?
that's what I always do. You see how I do it every day.
Yeah, but
I
that's
have-
because you don't have legs.
I got legs. I don't like using
Oh, you
them.
don't
It takes
have legs?
time to set them up, and
You do
at the
have
end of the
legs.
day, you got to unbolt. Yeah, I got the legs just like you do.
Oh.
I got all those
Oh, I
things. I
thought
bought
you
all that
didn't
stuff.
use them because
It's just quicker to.
you were on welfare or something.
No. Well, I am on welfare. No, it's just quicker when you're in a mobile environment because you got to set up. It takes time to unbolt
Yeah.
everything.
Okay, that's a
This
good
way,
point.
I have some blocks of wood that's already made, and then you just run them out on the ground, take a few, stack them up here, put the block of wood, go to the next one,
I believe that's wisdom from someone who's done that for multiple tens of years.
and then like when I'm doing inside walls,
No amateurs here.
when I'm doing inside walls, I'll just take and run the
The rollers
conveyors.
will also be much lighter.
I'll run a conveyor right inside the house,
Yeah.
and then right through a doorway or a window or something. But hey, you go back to work.
All right, excellent.
Okay. So anyway, so you don't want this to set too long because it'll soak right back in again.
Yep.
But anyway, that's what.
So
you do.
start that. Let's do it.
And then you got to kind of keep. Want me to show you how to do
Well,
this?
show us one course on the columns. That's something important for the crowds to see.
Yeah, Ronnie, I forgot to tell you that. See, you really want to clean the bottoms off. The one you're going to put on the bottom, if you know which side you're going to go down, make sure the ends, because every layer you're cleaning off, and then it don't matter if the goobers are on the top layer, because you're going to spray it and clean it off anyway. That saves you.
Looks like there's some excitement going on here.
Man, we're having a good time here.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Shaker motor disassembly.
We're about to do a reassembly.
Reassembly of shaker motor.
Exploded
Ergonomics.
view
I love that.
on the
This is
way.
great. I got to get back to the instructions.
Better get back to that.
And we see here there's frost right on these bricks still.
That's good though. Once it melts, it'll activate the sled again
Oh, excellent.
and melt back in.
Okay.
Or if you spray stuff on it, it'll melt it. See the next layer.
Yeah.
See that antifreeze actually will melt that. It'll combine chemically and melt the. Now, if it's too cold in the morning, we have to add more. The solution has to be so it doesn't, because it'll freeze on the blocks. Like this morning, it was.
Yeah.
What we're
Winter
using
CB
now, we-
construction is indeed possible then. Which, if we knew that, then 3 years ago when we built our workshop, we used cement because we didn't know.
Should use cement with dirt.
Well, exactly.
Because
That's
it
the
won't-
only thing we had that didn't freeze, and we didn't think about antifreeze at that point. We weren't that experienced.
And we're kind of tying this in. The next time we're going to we will lap this and actually tie the wall back into it.
Mm-hmm.
One run or the other. Like this one will lap.
Cut a block. We have to cut a
No.
block for that.
No, we try to keep away from the block.
Yeah, we just lay a block across, right?
Yeah, no,
Yep.
the columns, the way they're laying out in the wall, you want a little bit skinnier block so you on a Dutch bond because then you got plenty of room. If you get two of these blocks at 6 1/8,
Uh-huh.
then it's too wide for the wall.
Yeah.
So we got, but on the columns, you want to get as wide as possible because you'll have narrow spots in it. But I mean, it doesn't hurt anything other than aesthetically, and then
Yeah.
it'll look just fine when we actually come back through and put all the stuff in it.
Yep.
You know, fill the divot holes and stuff.
And you're basically checking each block for quality, which side
Well,
is really
yeah.
even for the outside.
Yeah, I try to put there's one side that's pressed harder than the other because it's a